Many people want to look and feel younger, but don't need or want plastic surgery. Well, now there's a procedure that's done right in the doctor's office that can reset the aging process. It does a remodeling job on your facial fat.
I mean, just gravity. You just start seeing, everything just starts to kind of come down a little bit.
Over time, gravity wreaks havoc on the neck and face. Mary Sneed is 56 and feeling it.
The lower parts of my face, the lower extremity, I find has started to sag, come down a little bit. I'm seeing, a little bit more through here.
It is a natural part of aging. We lose collagen as we grow older. So the ligaments and things holding in place stretch. We lose fat.
Dr. Mark Peters, a plastic surgeon in Houma, says in the past the solution was all or nothing, the all being a costly facelift. Today, it's a new, less invasive, less expensive procedure called EmbraceRF.
Patients who were told you need a facelift, and they're going, I don't want to have a facelift because it's too expensive. I don't want the scars. They can do this. This is going to significantly tighten without that.
I'm someone who I want something non-invasive, but that actually works.
All right, scoot up for me.
So Sneed is willing to try the roughly 1 hour, 2-part treatment. It's done right in the doctor's office.
Mary, you comfortable? You good in your position?
And here's how it works. After numbing the neck and jawline, a device called FaceTight goes under the skin and delivers radio frequency energy.
There's an internal probe, the black part, and then there's an external electrode, and they exchange the energy back and forth.
The heat increases collagen production, which also tightens the skin. The second part of EmbraceRF involves a microneedling device called Morpheus Ii, just recently approved by the FDA. It also generates heat and is the first device to mold fat subdermally in order to better define the jawline and rejuvenate the neck.
They both work synergistically to mold the fat, and really you don't want to take everything away. So the Morpheus is actually able to mold some of that fat just below the skin so that you get a smoother, more youthful appearance.
Like most procedures, evidence of contouring is not immediate. Patients won't see the bulk of the results for 4 to 6 months. But here are some before and after photos that show noticeable improvement.
And even when we do procedures, the question I get is, how long does this last? It's a reset. We simply reset things, and then aging goes on from there. So we're not stopping the process, we're just resetting the process.
Sneed is all about the subtlety of it.
I think if people look at you and it's just like, wow, did you change your hair color? They don't know exactly what you did, but you just look good.
She hopes by summertime, EmbraceRF will have her looking like she turned back the clock.
Rested, like I vacationed. Maybe younger.
Our next guest makes people look good for a living. But what her clients didn't realize was how self-conscious this makeup artist was about her own reflection. She opted for a new minimally invasive facial procedure, and we were there for it. Have a look.
I've been self-conscious about my neck since 15 years old. When I was younger, I used to have the jawline defined, and now I just have this little pouch. It's something that I always have to be thinking about.
Tatiana's coming in for a neck enhancement procedure called the Embrace and the Morpheus Ii. The Embrace procedure is radio frequency, which is going to melt the fat and tighten the skin. She has an embedded line from her crease, and we're going to use the Morpheus Ii to lessen that line. This is the face tight handpiece, radio frequency, which will create the tightening effect. And what I'm doing is getting the superficial temperature up to get maximal tightening. This is Morpheus Ii, little needles that are going to go right into the skin. In her case, she has this deep crease, and we're going to remodel that on the surface. We have now completed the procedure. She should have minimal bruising, minimal swelling, and a nice contour.
How does Tatiana look today? Well, she is here along with her doctor, board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Barry DiBernardo. Thank you both so much for being here. Really quickly, before we even ask you, Tatiana, how you feel, I just want to show everyone a still of her before and after, because I think everyone will be pretty impressed. Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
It is. And Tatiana, are you pretty happy?
Very happy. I'm so happy I did that. You can see the difference in only 3 weeks.
In her case, a younger patient, probably not ready for a classical face neck lift, but with what was going on in her neck with the amount of fat, that if you just removed that and didn't do something to also remodel and tighten the skin, she would have been left with laxity.
Correct. So this procedure, which is called the EmbraceRF, is composed of 2 technologies, the face tight and the Morpheus Ii. The face tight's a little probe, which you saw, and the energy goes back and forth, and it's really like ironing clothes and ironing the skin tight. You see an animation of it over there. And then the Morpheus Ii can go into skin wrinkling and lines and tighten and smoothen those things out.
And what was the recovery like for you?
I was back to work in 3 days.
Wow.
And I didn't take any pain meds.
The ideal candidate, somebody who's older, who has a lot more laxity, better served probably with a classical face neck lift.
It depends. The range here is from 30 to 60 years old, and we've been researching these tightening tools for 10 years, as you know, and we're getting pretty good at tightening even older patients. The age range is getting up there because so many patients just don't want surgery.
How much would something like this cost as opposed to surgery?
The cost range could be anywhere from $4,000 to $12,000 for all of this.
Dr. DiBernardo, thank you so much. Tatiana, we're excited for you. Really happy.
We're back with our special guest today. So you spent how many years on GH?
Almost 5.
5 years, man.
Yeah, 4.5, 5.
It's good memorization, I know that for sure. Well, one of your former GH co-stars, Michelle Stafford, is getting ready for her next close-up in today's Beauty by the Numbers. Her saggy neck problem.
You really show your age here, right?
His simple solution.
You're starting to see some of that looser skin.
General Hospital's Michelle Stafford wants to tighten and tone that looser skin, heading over to visit Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Dr. Nicholas Nikolov to get that facelift look without the surgery, without the scars.
Tell us about EmbraceRF.
EmbraceRF is a wonderful new technology, and it allows for us to remodel the fat, and on top of it also tighten the skin.
The one-time 45-minute treatment, minimally invasive.
Little needles, only 4 to 5 millimeters in length, go through the skin, and the radio frequency energy heats up the collagen, and the collagen is in the septi that the fat is organized in, and by heating it up, the collagen shrinks.
And EmbraceRF can be used in other areas too. Michelle going in like this, and 6 weeks later, coming out like this.
The change is remarkable. I had just about 4 or 5 days downtime. I'm an actress, and a lot of times the camera sort of gets us from the bottom, and then you see all of this stuff, right? And now it's gone.
Your neck is much tighter. You have the skin has really retracted. If you think about it, you have improvement coming for another 6 months to a year.
It's amazing to me.
So it keeps getting better and better.
Welcome back to We Are Austin. Many of us want to look and feel our best for the holidays, but don't need or aren't ready for plastic surgery. Luckily, there is EmbraceRF, a new technique that can give you impressive results right in the doctor's office. Joining us with more is Dr. Sarah Saxon, a double board certified facial plastic and reconstructive surgeon located in downtown Austin. It's nice to have you in our studio today.
Thank you for having me.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
We're excited to learn more about this. What exactly is EmbraceRF procedure?
So we've all heard about facelifts, and I still offer facelifts all the time on a daily basis in my practice. But a lot of my patients aren't really ready for that time investment and money investment, actually. And so EmbraceRF is the next best thing. It uses tiny little needle pokes to insert a device to tighten the skin on the undersurface and on the surface of the skin.
And so we're seeing some video of that right now. What exactly are we looking at?
So the first step of the EmbraceRF procedure is using FaceTight, and you can see the device working in this video, and it involves a component that goes under the skin and a component that goes over the skin. And there's heat energy that's delivered in between those two components. And so afterwards, over approximately a year, the skin will continue to tighten and the fat underneath the skin will melt.
Interesting. Yeah, can you speak a bit more about what the results are like and what does that downtime look like after having the procedure?
Yeah, so approximately you'll have about 30% skin tightening after the procedure. Of course, it's not equivalent to a facelift, but most people are really impressed with the results because the downtime is only about 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And you can go back to work, back to your day-to-day life. And so in the grand scheme of things, it's worth it to have some improvement without that investment.
And you can plan it into your schedule like you're saying. So how do you compare this to other minimally invasive procedures?
So like you said, it's minimally invasive, so it's not non-invasive, so it does require a surgeon to do the procedure. You're not going to see EmbraceRF in a med spa.
Okay.
And so, but with that being said, most of the treatments out there now are either under the skin or on top of the skin, and this has both.
Interesting.
And so because of that, you're actually seeing much more impressive results than I'm used to with other devices.
Yeah, how interesting. Who would you say might be a good candidate for something like this?
So usually, and I have these type of patients come in my office all the time. They're late 30s to early 50s, just starting to see a little bit of looseness under the chin, maybe a little bit of fullness, and they need a little bit of tightening, but not to the point of saying, oh yeah, I want to have surgery. And so this is done right in my office in about an hour's time, and truly happy in about a month after recovery.
Yeah, that is so neat to hear. What else would you want people to know about this procedure or to consider if they were thinking about it?
I think if you want something that you can do over the weekend, so usually I'll schedule these cases on about a Thursday, and you can go back to work on a Monday.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's pretty dramatic, and no other time has there been a procedure that you could do that quickly and still be happy with the results.
And we're looking at more video right now. What is that we're seeing?
So the second part of the EmbraceRF procedure is using another device called Morpheus Ii. And so Morpheus is a radiofrequency microneedling device. So some people have heard of vampire facelifts. This is the same sort of device using tiny needles, but we're adding heat energy to it. And so it goes much deeper, and actually you get much more skin tightening and wrinkle reduction.
Yeah.
And so this is the step 2 of the EmbraceRF procedure.
It sounds like by and large the results are really positive and that you get very positive feedback from your patients.
I'm very excited about this technology because I can offer it to my patients are happy, and when my patients are happy, I'm happy.
You're happy, yeah. And when you can do it over a weekend and go back to life on Monday, that's a win for everybody.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that with us so we could learn more about it. Where can we go for more information, or if someone's interested in considering this?
Yeah, so we'll be posting videos on this device on our Instagram at SaxonMD, and then our website, saxonmd.com.
Thanks for being here.
Happy to have you.
Well, now many people wish to improve their appearance, but aren't ready for plastic surgery. The doctor you're about to meet is a board-certified plastic surgeon, and he's going to introduce us to an impressive facial contouring technique which can achieve surgery-like results.
It certainly can. It is called EmbraceRF, and here to explain just how incredibly effective it is, Dr. Christopher Corsandi from VIP Plastic Surgery right here in Henderson. Dr. Corsandi, welcome to the show.
It's great to be back here. So it's an exciting technology to talk about. It's called EmbraceRF.
Okay.
It's by InMode Aesthetics, and it's become a bridging of a gap that's been in plastic surgery for a very long time. We have a lot of non-invasive things to tighten and rejuvenate the face, and they work.
That's what I like.
They're great. There's no cutting, nothing. But sometimes patients come in and they want a little bit more, and those devices really have a hard time delivering facelift-like results. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have facelifts, which require a commitment of time and financial commitment. So EmbraceRF is really a bridge therapy. It is something that fills an unmet need right now. And we get facelift-like results with minimal downtime, really no big incision, 3 small tiny incisions. And it's artistic remodeling of the face. It's an amazing technology that's come a long way. And we see in some patients up to 44% skin tightening with this.
Wow.
So the technology's been around in some parts. It's a combination of 2 things. Number one, it's FaceTight, which has been around for about 8 years.
Okay.
In the US, FDA approved for 2 years. And the Morpheus Ii handpiece, which is really an innovation of microneedling RF. And we have the areas here that we were looking at. We have an animation,
Nice
and this
before
is
and after, yeah.
this is the typical patient, a little bit of jowling, a little bit of a waddle to the neck, and we see the areas that we make our incisions. Now there's a couple different options.
Just
and
right along the
these are multiple
jawline,
options, but we use 3 of these incisions. Typically the one under the chin and the one by the earlobes. Okay, so they're like almost invisible. We don't even use sutures anymore to close these. We put a little steri strip, which is like a Band-Aid over it, and within 2 to 3 days, they're closed. I did my anesthesiologist just before a holiday, and he came to holiday dinner the next day, and I said, "You look great." Okay. So, you know, the stuff is minimally invasive, and so
did he have to numb himself?
No, yeah, he's pain averse. But here we have the handpiece for the FaceTight, okay? And what it is, it's radio frequency energy, which is, it's not radiation, but radio frequency energy is a mainstay of medicine.
RF, yeah.
And we have energy going from the outside, and we have a little probe inside. So we're sandwiching that energy into the deeper layers and up all the way up to the skin. And what we're getting is significant remodeling, adipose remodeling, which is fat remodeling, and tightening of the skin, unlike anything I've ever worked with before. Now, I have 20 some odd different lasers in my practice.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does this compare?
Well, it's an evolution, and things change, and technology advances, and as a practitioner who's at the cutting edge, you need to stay abreast of all this stuff because, you know, every year things get better.
Yeah.
You know, drive a car from 25 years ago and drive a car that just rolled off the assembly line today, it handles completely different, right?
Well, that's what I like about this too, is because I like to do, you know, like the Clear and Brilliant, some of those laser, you know, so I might have.
So this is fractional.
I can walk to your office.
So the other half of the technology, which we have another animation for, is the Morpheus Ii, which is a revolutionary handpiece, just approved by the FDA. It's the deepest radio frequency microneedling device. It goes 4 millimeters, but it has the potential to go to 8. We're working on you know, the approval for that. And what that does is that the needles go through the skin, and it's completely numb. Now, there's no sedation needed. We use local anesthetic. The face is completely numb. This is us doing a treatment right here. And patient's not feeling any of this. The needles go through the skin. They deliver the energy, and they actually cause contraction of the fibrous tissue, and you can remove some of the fat, and it's almost like scarless liposuction in a way.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Doctor, I want to jump right to your before and afters
Sure.
because honestly, nothing shows results.
That's what people want to see.
So
like
I'd be happy
before
to
and after.
So this is a very typical result you can see in somebody who's in their 30s, okay? And this is a lady who has a little bit of adipose or fat.
Great?
Yeah, it almost looks like a chin implant, but it's not.
I love it.
This type of result was almost impossible to get in somebody with just a facelift. Now this is a more mature patient. You can see the marionette lines, you can see the jowling, a little bit of the waddle of the neck. This is a procedure that takes 45 minutes to do in the office. You can drive yourself home, okay? You can be ready for work in 3 to 5 days. Okay, this is revolutionary stuff. This is, you know, we've been waiting for stuff like this. One of my colleagues in New York, who is one of the biggest facelift surgeons in the world, who said, I'm never going to buy anything that plugs in. He's now using this in his practice. We converted him because it works. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there that's okay, but this really is the next layer of the, you know, facial rejuvenation cake.
I'm assuming I'm a good candidate. So.
It's very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
I have so many women and men come into this office complaining about, especially these days with people in their phone all day, they're constantly looking down. This area, as we age, loses elasticity, we deflate a little bit, and it begins to hang and fall off of our chin and jawline.
Instead of the traditional surgery, Dr. Subio has a new solution.
A new form of microneedling, which is adding energy and heating to the skin to cause further contraction.
It's called Morpheus Ii, designed to tighten the skin.
The main draw of this technology is that it allows a newer form of shrink wrapping of the skin.
That's used in combination with a device called FaceTight.
It will go under the skin, and the probe on top will heat the area between the probe.
The heat increases collagen production, which also helps to tighten the skin. 4 weeks after the procedure, here's the before and after comparison.
Oh, I think it's great. I'm really happy.